So, this map can be a little bit tricky. We've got a few cavalry rushing at us from the beginning, and several of them have javelins, as well as a few bow riders with pathetic attack speed. This guy typically doesn't actually aggro until you get into his range. You might also notice if you press the select button, the map's actually expanded since we were last here. There's a whole lot of space down here near the lake and around the woods, so if you want to take the battle down there, you probably could. Now, you don't want to finish this map by route until you get Runan to a particular house. Trust me, this is ridiculously important. Okay, so let's just see. The way that I kind of like to handle this map is, there's no choke points, so we'll make some choke points. Although I think Raffin can actually get into range of one of the enemies here. You don't want to be too, you don't want to stretch yourself too thin, because otherwise your, vulnerable characters will be, well, vulnerable. So yeah, I like to kind of move my higher defense characters, and that's going to be a problem because Garrow's a little bit stuck, but up to the front, and to sort of form a wall that way. I mean, Julia could try and maybe take on some enemies in the woods. I could kind of put Esther down near Raffin for the support. Once the initial rush is dealt with, this chapter isn't that bad, but before then, it can be quite dangerous. So you may want to stick to the woods. You might actually notice as well, you may have already noticed this by now, but I'll mention it anyway, that woods don't give bonuses to defense in this game, only to evasion. And you have, well, I mean, you at least have the save staff. But no physic yet, at least not without Lee. Okay, do your worst, minions of Sir Stupid of Idiots. Okay, one of them's already attacking, and he's probably dead. Still, 13 attack versus Raffin's 7 defense. Raffin can... Okay, nice dodge there. Can be in danger sometimes, and I promised to talk about critical hits the first time somebody got one, and I forgot to in the last chapter because so much was going on. Critical hits in TearRing Saga are interesting. They don't triple damage like they do in mainline Fire Emblem. They actually double your attack power before factoring in defense. So, for example, if you had 10 attack against an enemy with 10 defense, and you get a critical hit, well, in a normal Fire Emblem game, you would do 0 damage, because 3 times 0 is still 0. 10 minus 10, 0, tripled to 0. But in TearRing Saga, you actually will do 10 damage, because 10 times 2 is 20, then the enemy's defense of 10 is subtracted, so that's 10. This means that characters with high defense actually need to watch out for critical hits, almost like Pokemon. But I'll stop talking about that for now, because we have the introduction of the very, very, very important, well, not so much house, more inn. This guy here might be the most important character we've seen so far. And that didn't really give us much of an indication of why, but again, Runan has to visit that house. And, okay. So, at this point, like, pulling back and retreating might even be an option. I mean, we're not really in a hurry or anything, and you still have an herb. Just gotta be careful of potentially taking a lot of ranged attacks. Or we could try charging in and, I would say killing as many of them as I can, but, it might be more fitting to say kill every last one of them. 13, okay, I do 10 damage times 2. That's not enough even to one round this guy, is it? I mean, Naren probably can. But he also... Oh, 5 defense isn't as bad as some of us. Cough, cough, you with 4 defense. 16 on 3. Yeah, that's actually enough to one round you anyway. It's early in the chapter, I can always reset if something goes badly. Probably not the best way to play this, but still. That was a good dodge, though. Already it's 7. Okay, more speed is also great. He's already equaling or nearly exceeding Raffin in some regards. Yeah, everything here has roughly the same amount of attack power, so it doesn't... I mean, apart from the Javelin guys who have less. So maybe the Javelin should go last. And Raffin does have Canto. -4 and then 1. That should be enough to double still. Or I could crit and not risk taking any damage at all. That would be nice. No crit. Yeah, but he can retreat into the forest with his extra movement there. Like, I could bring one guy down with these 2 Cavaliers, but at the same time, somebody would be at major risk of dying there. Guess I can send Runan over there. You into that forest. Right now, I'm just kind of winging it and gonna see what happens once these people advance. Yeah, non-negative attack speed with a throwing axe is pretty nice, though I doubt any of the enemies are actually going to focus on him. I don't know if that's going to do anything of significance. And the healers should just stay far away from anything. What I was saying was there are going to be some reinforcements later that might actually be decent experience for Sasha. So I'm not too worried about getting her kills against these guys. Okay, this could end very badly if I get unlucky, but we'll see. Okay, you're going for Julia. Although, does she get 2-shotted? Well, not if she dodges one of them. I think it was 14 and like 3 defense. And Runan, does he have his rapier equipped or not? Because if he has the rapier, no, it's just the iron sword. If he had the rapier equipped, that might actually be bad because he could have one round at this guy and then been at risk of multiple other enemies. Although he does still have uses of a shield left. I still love how Japan actually has their own term for somebody dying due to being too strong. Yeah, Julia is taking quite a bit from those guys. But I mean, I think only like... Okay, you can reach her, but that's a javelin, so it's going to be fairly... Yep, that's weak enough not to kill her. Do you like how you can kind of see the guy's helmets moving during the attack animations? I called them models earlier. I think that's force of habit from every Fire Emblem that I played recently, being a 3D one. I haven't actually played a sprite-based Fire Emblem since Sacred Stones, maybe? But yeah, these are all technically sprites, just a little bit more animated thanks to this being a PS1 game. Okay, so that turn actually went pretty well. I can probably mop up the stragglers now. Like I said, after you've weathered the initial assault, it's really not too bad. I love how Naren can just gain experience off of dodging rather than actually fighting. This is the experience that I was hoping that Sasha could take. Yes, we've got trouble, and that trouble is bandits, but not just any bandits, horse bandits. It was an idea that is exclusive to TearRing Saga and I think Bearwick Saga, and I actually quite like it. I wish mainline Fire Emblem would do this. So yeah, what he's saying here is that they're going to prioritize destroying the port over actually attacking anyone, but what you can do here is that you can just put somebody up here to block the bridge, and because if you, once you visit all of the houses, then they'll leave the map. But if you intentionally leave one of the houses unvisited and just put somebody to block the bridge, then they actually won't leave, but they won't try and attack you either, so you can just get some free experience off of them. And they've got negative attack speed and, interesting skills, actually. Grass Runner. Which, is this actually... I think this is... Yeah, this is a plains map, so I think they are getting higher movement, but they still have to go through forests. Okay, so step 1, Garrow kills something. hopefully. Because he might miss one of these. Or he could get Adept, which kind of forgetting, but I think he starts with that. Or he could miss both of them. Because that is a thing that can happen when you have a 70% hit rate in this game. I said I wouldn't be killing anything with Sasha, but, I mean, that guy is ripe for the taking. Let's see. Yeah, that's more than enough attack speed to do it. Pretty much anyone should be able to double these guys. Early game enemies in TearRing Saga are pretty weak. Still no level up, though. Okay, yeah, so Sasha. Do I even need to use the S-Dock here? I actually do. Because Sasha's still pretty, yeah, even the S-Dock doesn't really do much. But it does do exactly enough with your defense subtracted. I kind of like that little, like, backflip that she does when attacking. I wish I had a dancer so that she could potentially get a second kill this turn, but, oh well. Yeah, I would rather have Julia try and attack one of the bow guys just for no risk of a counter. I mean, she's not going to one round unless she crits, though. Which could happen. There we go. So yeah, 9 normally, 20 with a crit. And the rest of these guys should fall pretty swiftly. Like, yeah, Naren is actually one-rounding them, which I kind of don't want because he'll level up even if he doesn't get a kill here. But let's do this anyway. Kind of wish he had Kanto so we can move towards the houses, but... Actually, you know what? Maybe I do want Naren to get a lot of kills here, because he's 8. Because I did tease when we were getting our first Knight's Crest, so, I mean, technically, if I actually do... I mean, I could actually get Naren promoted now, which would be amazing. I'm going to Steel Sword you just because I can. I'm kind of hoping that I don't get the kill here and that Esther will do it, but at the same time, I'm not opposed to Raffin finish. Or he could just crit because Esther's nearby and, you know, support bonuses. And with that, I guess he can move towards here. Now, can I... I should be able to finish this guy off. Iron Sword, yeah, definitely enough attack speed. Like, at this point, yeah, always assume you have enough attack speed to double thing. It's very, very rare that you won't be able to double someone, you know, unless using a Javelin or something. This is what I was mentioning about the... Okay, everyone is just critting now, apparently. It's what I was mentioning about the whole, Arcus situation earlier. It's just that, because, like, most things that Arcus doubles, Christ also doubles... I don't think I need the save staff yet. And Christ hits harder. He's just objectively better in most cases in the early game. And in the late game, too. So at this point, we're kind of just going to stall things out a little bit. I might even cut forward if nothing particularly interesting happens. I'd really like I mean, I suppose Raffin can, like, level up over the, off the boss or something. I mean, it doesn't really, you know, matter too much, because Raffin's going to be getting plenty of experience over the course of the game, trust me. I think this is our first staff usage, is it? Maybe it is. Hello? Okay, just testing something. I got a weird comment saying that, a USB device malfunctioned, but hopefully it was the, it was my controller, dang it. Well, my controller stopped working, and then my microphone stopped working, so this recording session's actually just been very cursed overall. But anyway, we can start on visiting these villages now. But I want to leave that one in at the very end for Runan, obviously. Thankfully, this isn't a Seas chapter, so it doesn't really matter where Runan is at any given time. And yes, we are said troops. Welt Liberation Army. Yeah, that's kind of similar to what the Deliverance is called in Fire Emblem Gaiden. They're just called the Liberation Army. They kind of made it sound a bit more flowery in the localization. Well, yeah, hopefully it'll be over soon. I was actually hoping that Raffin would reach this one. I don't remember exactly which item is in which of the houses. I just remember, you know, which items there are in general. So, this Iron Lance. You might think, what? A shield-piercing Iron Lance? Well, just like the Iron Sword we got in Chapter 1, this one has 51 kills on it already, and if you give it to someone like Raffin or Naren, it will rack up more kills pretty quickly. Though it still will, you know, have the issue of, breaking eventually. There is an item that you can use to repair, like, non-legendary weapons, but it does, have, well, it's expensive, and you don't get very many of them. So, like, overall, I don't think it's, like, super practical to keep repairing the same weapon and hope that it gets an insane kill rate. And I haven't actually even mentioned one even weirder mechanic about the kill count system. Because there's an even weirder mechanic. If a weapon reaches 100 kills, something strange happens. And you will almost never see that in a normal playthrough. Like, I guarantee it, unless you grind a lot and buy a whole lot of repair hammers. But it's a mechanic that exists in this game, and I kind of want to show it at some point. I have extra footage of it from another playthrough, but it's a weird mechanic. I'll talk more about it when it becomes more relevant. Oh yeah, houses do slightly heal you. I guess I can start off with Enter here. Like, one thing that I actually wanted to say as well about the staffs is that while I don't really want to turn off battle animations, I will probably turn off staff animations after we've shown them a few times. Just because they go on for quite a while, and we don't really need to see them. And they also, well, like, we'll be seeing a lot of them seeing as Enter as a forced deployment for pretty much the whole game. I guess Runan can visit this one. That'll put him in range of the best one. Secluding herself, yes, definitely not captured. Yes, yes. I mean, I suppose the people here don't really have much way of knowing which story is true. Magical potion that'll make you luckier. Luck is still, like, the least important stat, just like Fire Emblem, but, that's okay. +3 luck. Okay, yeah, I can probably send, like, Raffin back into the thick of it, actually. And maybe send Julia to visit some of the other houses. Again, I want to leave one house around, just so that I can, leech some experience off of those thieves. Don't really need to send people any further forward, except that I probably want to get a few of them with Naren, because, you know, it would be kind of cool if I could get him to level 10 in this chapter. I mean, it's not, you know, super necessary, and I think it won't even, like, have that much of a benefit, because the next map is not, like, super kind on mounted units. So having, an all-conquering god Naren is not going to be the most useful thing in the world right now, but it definitely will be soon. I still really like the idea of horse-mounted thieves. You don't see that in Fire Emblem, and I kind of wish you did. So these guys will definitely counterattack if you go for them first. I don't think they attack healers, but I don't really trust the AI. I've had bad experiences with, you know, lying aggro lines. Okay, yeah, even with the air stock, you're not doing that much, but I can probably afford to just, you know, abuse a little bit of experience off of you. And I guess I can just go animation, for you, I believe, will not show any animations for you. I think some is, like, only player phase. Apparently a lot of the settings had, like, full descriptions, you just don't really get to see them in the fan translation because there wasn't room. Yeah, I'll put you to few as well. So, yeah, it'll be time for the moment of truth soon. Hopefully, these guys do not attack healers. Let's see if you can, like, pick off one of them. Yeah, 3 to -2 should be enough to double. You have to do some, like, roundabout maths with negative numbers in this game when it comes to that, which is sort of interesting. Seriously, Naren is like this strong now, and he has higher mastery now. He's getting close to using that really good type of throwing spear that I was alluding to earlier on. I mean, I guess I can form a wall around my healers in case their AI decides to be sneaky, but at the same time, I don't know. Also, yeah, don't aggro that boss until you've finished off these thieves and saved all of the villagers, obviously. Don't know if I really should have done that, but oh well. Okay, yeah, I think I will go for that house. Because, yeah, for some reason it needs to be Runan as well. I don't know if you get a hint to that if you enter the house with anyone else. So what this guy's saying is actually kind of interesting. You might think that he's hinting at growth rates and stuff like that. Especially with this line, like he's like, oh yeah, it's just typical Jake and stuff, right? He's actually not referring to that. He's actually referring to this game's leveling system. So the occult book is a very special item. It raises your level cap by 10 to a maximum of 40. The reason why I was talking about, like, older ones and stuff like that is because characters like Garrow who don't promote or who start out promoted, they have a level cap of 30. And they won't be able to reach level 40 unless they use an occult book, but I'll talk more about that once I discuss how promoting works, because, yeah, we're going to get an actual promotion item in this chapter as well. And now it's time for the most important village conversation in the game, possibly. It's still very weird they don't really hint at this at all, because of, like, this is insane. Like, when I talk about exactly what you miss out on if you don't get this conversation, if you haven't played this game, trust me, you're not going to believe it. You are not going to believe it at all. Because this random layabout is actually super important. Because, yeah, it isn't so much the fact that Runan has to visit this guy, it's more that Eugen does. And I think Eugen's assumed to be traveling with Runan for most of the maps. Seems like this guy is part of Holmes's crew. So if you've played Fire Emblem, you probably know what this is implying. Thief utility is always useful. However, we're actually not going to be recruiting this guy yet. Eugen has a job for him, and again, like, there's no hints that you need to do this or anything. But this is super important because this sneaking mission gets you a lot of very, very important things. I've said important so much during this conversation, but I just want to stress it, because this conversation is insane how much it gets you. And how much you miss if you don't do it. Yeah, just a routine job, sneaking into a palace, just like a phantom thief, I guess. So, funny thing about this conversation when I first saw it recently, I was going to make a joke that the list would go on this long, but the game made it for me. Oh yeah, by the way, I haven't actually mentioned this guy's name yet. I personally pronounce it as Narcissus from, you know, Narcissus, which I think is what he was called in an earlier fan translation. I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be named after Narcissus. Yes, where should be Rende's voice? I could never pronounce that word correctly when I was younger. Bridge near Fort Welt. So, yeah, that's about where we'll start getting, seeing the first payoff for sending him out on this mission. So, no indication there of how important that was. So, let me just go over it in detail. If you do not get that conversation, you miss, drumroll please, 5 recruitments. And by extension, for missing those recruitments, you miss out on an extremely good personal staff, the secret shop key, and Sasha's Pegasus Night promotion. All that, down the drain, if you don't think to send Runan specifically to that one house. I don't know what they were thinking when they decided not to give you any hints towards this. Maybe if you wait in this map a little bit longer, you get more conversations there. Like, I don't know exactly, like, what this entails, but it's just like, okay, no, it's not the multi-kill Iron Sword. But, like, yeah, it's just so, like, I'm so confused, like, with how, like, did they intend for it to be an Easter egg? Like, did they intend for you to not, like, get those recruitments if you miss that house, and therefore, like, I don't know, oh look, Naren has even more, power than he used to have, because he's now more durable, but, it's just, I am extremely confused at why they make that one house so important, and then just never tell you how important it is. I just don't get it, because of and the 5 recruitments that you miss from going to that village, like, some of them aren't that special. Some of them are very, 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 very strong characters. Like, one of them in particular is, like, one of my favorite magic users in this game. You just simply can't get him if you don't, visit that house with Runan. And I think as well, like, the story probably takes a much darker turn too, given, the first of the important recruitments that relies on sending Narcissus down there. So it's just like, it's so weird. That house is just the most important house in the history of everything. Yes, we are from the Liberation Army. Weren't you the one that gave us the sword last time? Oh, is this what I think it is? Yes, it is! The Knight's Crest! This lets you promote Cavaliers into Paladins, and also, interestingly enough, Kate, she promotes with a Knight's Crest as well. And I'm gonna hold off on getting that last village, because if I do get it, the thieves will start running away. Can I just check something? I can probably have Raffen move a little closer. I sort of want Naren to Javelin the boss once, which will probably level him up, and then he'll get to level 10, and then so I was planning on discussing how promotion works as well. Now that we have the Knight's Crest, I guess, I mean, the village is still blocked, so I can try and finish it with an Iron Sword, assuming that I hit one of these 64s. Come on, 64. There we go. 64. The console this game was not on. Okay, Sasha's still only level 4, so she's got 6 levels of pain and misery to go through. Come Can I get you a little closer? I might be able to do a game of Pass the Night Crest. Something that I also like about this game is that the promotion items in this game are represented as, like, armor. I can have you take that. Oh, the stupid guy's blocking the way. Oh yeah, because I can't go on the sand because I'm a horse, so that's why he's standing on the one spot that Naren needs to get over there to begin with, but I should hopefully be able to get the Knight's Crest to him soon. So I guess while we're just meandering around and finishing off the final enemies, I can talk about promotion. So I mentioned that pre-promotes have a level cap of 30. Unpromoted characters, on the other hand, they can promote at level 10 or above, just like most Fire Emblem units. And when you promote, your level does not reset. So it's kind of like Fire Emblem 4 in that regard. So, for example, if Naren promotes at level 10, he'll be a level 10 Gold Paladin. He won't go back to level 1. Now I kind of want Sasha to get a hit on the boss, but that's going to take even longer to do. You can get it to Plum, and then Plum can get it a little further. But yeah, so if you promote at level 10, you'll have a level cap of 30, but if you promote at level 20, which is the maximum level for unpromoted classes, then you'll have a level cap of 40, the maximum possible. Now, in this game, I know that it's always recommended that you promote as early as possible because blah 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 pitfalls, but in TearRing Saga, definitely promote as soon as possible. Promotion bonuses are really, really significant in this game, especially for some people who are named Naren. I almost wonder if I should actually lure him in now with Naren, although Naren could just end up critting and then just ending this immediately. I'll get the final house first, and then I'll think about it while this is going. But in general, like, caps in this game are pretty low, and enemies have very low stats. You don't need a lot of stats to do well, and getting the promotion bonuses early really, really, really helps out in the mid-game. And also, a lot of characters have skills they won't learn unless they're in their promoted classes, and many of them require you to promote early. Like, Naren only gets Lethality or Blazing Wind in Japanese as a level 12 Gold Paladin. There are some people who benefit from promoting late. Usually only the people with Paragon are able to realistically reach level 40, and Naren is one of them, but you can just give them an occult book. Speaking of the occult book, oh, actually, wait, no, I should probably talk about this. I like how they justify this. This is a Kanto skill scroll. It only works on mounted characters, I'm pretty sure. In fact, maybe it doesn't. I need to actually look at that in more detail, but I think it only works on mounted characters, but it's useful for somebody like Chryse or Arcus, who doesn't learn it natural. Well, I mean, Arcus does, but doesn't until very, very late. And Naren does get it eventually, but I suppose I can lure you in with... It's just kind of funny, because I just don't really want Naren to kill the boss. I guess I can equip... whatever my weakest weapon is, which still gives me an attack power of 17, which is crazy for this early in the game. Oh, I don't think Sasha's going to be able to get to him, but still, she's just pretty close to leveling up to 5. I like to get Sasha to level 10, and then having her learn Paragon by the end of the first arc. But I guess I shouldn't spoil when that is. So yeah, safe to aggro this guy now that we've saved all the villagers. And Eretz is a Bronze Paladin. Well, we're certainly a match for your brains, though, because you're clearly not the smartest of the well-teased knights. What I was saying about occult books, though, is that... Holy crap, that damage there's just like... And it's going to get even better soon, just like... Just one hit from an iron sword, but yeah. Occult books. They work on unpromoted characters, and that's actually quite useful for Pegasus Knights, because often, like, people actually like to keep them as Pegasus Knights and not promote them to Wyvern Knights because they lose huge amounts of magic and thus can't do well with Levin swords anymore. Does anybody here need... I guess Naren needs healing. Could send him back to get healed by Plum, I suppose. But, all this talk of promoting, how fitting this is our first one. The promotion theme in this game is great, actually. Like, I think it's pretty cool, but, let me just put this in perspective for a second. So, now he has Pavis and also Adept, but also, see that 18 strength? Now, there's a character who joins in Chapter 19 who has 17 strength at base, I think. It might actually be 18, but, like, it's around that number, and he is considered extremely good. And we have that in Chapter 3. Because... and I have 10 attack speed as well! So I suppose now is probably a good time to show this. If you press the triangle button on this, you can actually see a chart of every character's level up history, and also where their current level cap is. So, characters like Esther, she has the level limit there at 20. Runan is interesting, because even though he technically can promote, he's treated as an unpromoted character for the purpose of level capping at 30, which, yeah... kind of interesting in that regard, but, yeah, I'm just gonna... I don't think there's anything else we can really do here, so let's just finish this. I mean, I would love to just finish this guy with Naren, but at the same time, I mean, let's give the other ridiculously broken character some action here. And he has Paragon, and, like, again, like, his level doesn't reset, so he's still gonna be getting good experience, even with these stupidly overkill stats. As much as I insulted him earlier, this guy's death quote is pretty sad. Oh, what was I saying about someone being really broken? Raffin's growths are pretty good too, but oh well. That's that chapter over, and at least, you know, Naren promoted, so that's still a victory. Isn't tactical strategy a little... I mean, I wouldn't say redundant, because I know that strategy and tactics mean different things, and people always confuse them, and there are a lot of people out there who get really pedantic about the distinction. Or, you know, maybe he's just threatening their families. That tends to increase morale. I like how blunt this guy is. He was only an average knight. And yeah... just fear. That's always a good motivator. And this is what I was talking about before, but yeah, that... if someone can clarify, like, what the actual difference between strategy and tactics is, because I keep forgetting, and I know that there were even some people a while back who, like, were very insistent that strategy RPG and tactical RPG are completely different genres. I think one of them refers more to the long-term picture, and one of them is more short-term decisions. Yes, they're of no importance to us, unless they're recruitable. Then they're of every importance to us. And that guy was not recruitable, so yeah. You know, it's kind of funny that he's talking about this now, given somebody we're going to be meeting in the next chapter. But with that, we've completed that little skirmish at the port. Oh, but I think I know what scene this is. Yeah, after the chapter... oh, we're getting a little bit of a war report. There's something else after this, though. Yeah, Fort Graham is in the middle of a forest. It's kind of surprising that we're actually going after Coda's homeland next, but that's actually the very next chapter. Yeah, Enter was going towards the Temple of Mars. Yes, God of Wind and Water, not God of War. It is always weird when fantasy settings, like, they always have their pantheons named after real-world pantheons, even though that makes no logical sense. Like, I think there's a certain thing in Trails, but I won't be able to talk about it for ages because it doesn't, like, get mentioned until, I think, Cold Steel 3. But, like, it's one of the few actual in-universe mythological references I've seen. Like, where there's a weapon that's actually named after a mythological thing from its own universe, rather than a real-world mythological thing. And figuring out if you'll actually be included next time. Don't know why the music is so sinister just for 2 knights talking. I guess it's because he's in a bad mood. Oh, right, okay, this is why. Yeah, we're gonna get a little bit of backstory here. I was just about to say that, we're not wasting our time, we're helping valuable allies. If we help them, they'll give us the power we need to possibly reclaim our home. And like I said, backstory. Maybe it should have been a "the" there, the Empire. I get his point that you can't really show favoritism if you're a knight like this. If you get only your family out, but don't, you know, evacuate anyone else's families, then it's probably not gonna look good in the eyes of the people. We're just gonna have faith that one day we'll go back and reclaim our home, but this is the scene that I was referring to. This is the first quasi-support conversation of this game. Actually, no, it isn't, because we had Arcus and Esther before, but that was one-sided. So if you say this, don't say this, because you won't get any benefit and the scene will just end. But if you say yeah, we get more backstory. I think ear is how that's pronounced. That conversation raises Garrow's support with Julia and Julia's support with Garrow.